What's going on, guys? It's STG. So this is a little bit of a different video. I'm basically going to talk about my experience here that I had with a couple banks the other day. So one bank that I go to, the ATM machine has been down, right? Okay, fine. They're doing maintenance, it's okay. So I go to the other location that is probably about maybe half a mile away, walk over there, no problem. So for a while now, guys, I was expecting a large check, and that check finally arrived. I deposited the check. I went over to my bank, and I'm not going to name what bank it is, but I've dealt with this teller before, and she's been somewhat less than pleasant to deal with. Let's just say that. Let's just say I've had issues getting boxes of $50, and she was probably the reason why I didn't get it. So I've had issues with this particular teller at the bank, and I dealt with her. I deposited the check. She's telling me it's going to be available in one business day, one day, next day. And I said, okay, I was curious. Like, she basically pointed to a printout of a receipt, and she was trying to assuage my concerns about the check clearing. And I was like, okay, no problem. So this check basically, guys, just to give you a little background, I have a business, and I basically deposited this check in my business account. I have both a business and a personal account at this financial institution. So I deposited the check in the business account, okay, and they said it was going to be available in one day. So I was wondering where it didn't. I looked at the receipt. I didn't see it saying, it's going to be cleared in one business day. So I decided to go to another teller and ask her, this teller is telling me it's going to clear in one business day. And I'm like, where's she getting this information from? So the other teller basically went through a couple of systems. She looked it up for me, and she's saying it's going to clear in one day. I said, are you seeing that on your screen? I said, can I look? And she basically showed me some screen, and I guess it showed when it would be available to be cleared. So I was like, okay, no problem. Next day, I wake up. Actually, at 2 in the morning, the funds had already cleared. The next day, I was like, okay, funds are cleared, no problem. Wake up, check my bank account again. It's 9:30 in the morning. Funds are still in there. Great. I'm happy. I got my money. It cleared in one day, right? Wrong. I go to an appointment, and I use my business card. It was a business expense. Another business expense cleared my card. So I say to myself, I'm going to go to the bank after my appointment. So I go to the bank. It's now maybe around 12:30 in the afternoon. And I basically am filling out a withdrawal slip, and I log in online on my phone to my bank account to get my account number, and to my surprise, guess who has no funds in their account? So I basically see that the check hadn't been cleared at that time, at around 12:30. Meanwhile, maybe 3 hours prior, it had been cleared. I was very confused, and at this point, you could understand why. So I basically go to the teller, and I speak with the same teller the day before. I said, you told me my check would clear the next day, right? And I saw the balance of the check being cleared, and now it's not cleared. Why is that? So she tells me, she says, well, it can take the bank can put a hold on the check for 3 to 5 business days. And I said, how come you didn't tell me that to begin with? She's like, well, it didn't say it in the computer. I'm like, saying to myself, if you knew there was a possibility of this, why didn't you give me that warning? Why didn't you tell me? Why are you just depending on what a computer is telling you? It's your job to basically know these things that you've encountered, I'm sure, numerous times. And I've seen this teller before. She's not new. She's been there since the end of last year. I've seen her early this year, maybe. So she's been there for a minimum 8 months, I would say 8 or 9 months. And I'm like, she's a nice person. This person is nice. You know, I had nothing against this person. It's the other teller I had some issue with. And I'm like, I need this money today. You know, it was a check. I'm not gonna say exactly how much. It was between $5,000 to $10,000. And I said, I have expenses. I need the funds immediately. I have bills to pay. And basically, she felt kind of bad. And she basically was on the phone with, I don't know who. I believe maybe the bank, the back office. And then the back office at my bank reached out to the back office of the other bank where the check was issued from. And I hear her just chatting, conversing normally, laughing even, talking about a movie or Netflix or something. I don't know what they were talking about. I was getting really frustrated and agitated at that point. And I basically just sat there while she was on the phone for about 45 minutes, only to be told that there was a hold placed on the check at 10 o'clock this morning. So if I had gone into the bank at 9 o'clock when I originally saw at 2 a.m. and 9:30 the funds deposited in my account and cleared, I could have gotten the money and I wouldn't have had to wait in the bank for an hour only to be told that my funds will not be available until September 5th. Okay, so at this point you could understand my frustration because A, my funds were readily available. B, if I had gone in earlier, I could have withdrawn my funds. C, there was a hold placed on my funds until September 5th. And D, I had wasted an hour for nothing. So I was really frustrated at this point, and I basically had to take money out of my personal account to put in my business, which I should not be commingling my funds. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't give a fuck who knows about it, okay? But that's what I had to do to pay my bills on my business account. So when I went to do this, of course, I had trouble with that as well. I had called up last week on Friday to cancel my debit cards because for some reason they got maybe demagnetized somehow and the chip wasn't working. So I couldn't use them. So I needed new ones. And I had this issue for a while. I just let it go. And I talked to the customer service representative at my bank, and they had informed me that my card would not be canceled. Fine. I had to call both a number from my personal account, and then they had to transfer me to a separate agent from my business account. And both cards were canceled. Now, my personal card was canceled, and that was sent to me by FedEx, a new card. Well, my business account, you would think, because I do a lot more business in my business account, that they would send me a card FedEx. No, they send it to me snail mail, I found out. Okay? So I basically go back to the day where I, had to take money out of my account from my personal to my business. I couldn't use my debit card to do this at the ATM or even at the teller. So they had to basically just use my ID and, take the money out. And when I did this, I basically took the money, looked at my balance in my business account, and some magical reason, maybe her being on the phone and having them to try to remove the block on the funds, I basically all of a sudden had the funds in my account. And this was already at maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Fine, I was happy, and I still didn't have a working debit card. And by this time, I had put the funds from my personal into my business, so I had to go back to the teller because I didn't have an ATM card, have him take the funds that I put in from my personal into my business back out from my business to my personal account because the funds had cleared at this time. So you could see I had a lot of trouble, guys. Okay, my bank said they would not cancel my card until I got a new one. I could continue to use it. A day or two later, it was deactivated, and they basically sent me a brand new card with a brand new number. So now all the accounts that my card is connected to, I'm spending time updating my new card number. And I was just frustrated, guys. I don't know if anything like this has ever happened to you where you actually have a check that has been cleared at the one time in the morning and then a few hours later it's not cleared. I don't even know if this is legal that they could do this. They told me if it's a check over $5,000 that they could put a hold on it. So if they put a hold on it, why didn't they just put a hold on it since the first time I deposited it? Why did they clear the funds, have me be able to withdraw the funds within an hour time frame, and then put a block on it an hour later after the bank opened? Okay, so that does not make sense to me. The other thing is the bank telling me that they would not cancel my debit card for my personal account and then have my debit card completely canceled a day or two later. So I was basically having trouble with the tapping feature. I could actually still use it. I should just clarify that. But, they're telling me I could have functionality for the card, and then I don't. And at the same time, they didn't cancel my business card. I was still able to use my business card. So they do one thing one way and another thing another way. The business card not deactivated. They're sending me a new one by snail mail. The personal card was deactivated and they sent me one through FedEx. So I received it already. I activated it. So unfortunately, I have a business account and it's not so easy now to open up a new business account. My business is basically located in the address is where I live. So in order currently for you to open up a new business account, most banks will require an on-site visit, which means someone's going to come into your business location and take pictures of your business. Doesn't matter if your business is located at your personal residence or in a separate office. They're gonna take pictures. So I didn't want anyone coming into where I live and taking pictures. I mean, that's kind of an invasion of my privacy. Unfortunately, I believe that it is somewhat of a new law. And I know for money service businesses, such as companies that cash checks, that these site visits are required. So, yeah, because, I work in banking and I do know some requirements regarding accounts being opened. So, it just is putting more and more, let's say, unfair burden on the consumer, in my opinion. So I'm basically stuck with this bank I don't want to do business with. For my business account and for my personal account, I said, the heck with it. I'm just going to open up a new account. So I basically just opened up a new account, and it is with a much smaller bank. This other bank is a extremely large bank in the US, one of the top 10 largest in the US. That's all I'm going to say. And this other bank is somewhat of a regional bank, I guess you could call it. And so I'm gonna have to switch all my every account that is every basically every application that's connected with my personal account at my current bank. I'm gonna have to switch over to my new account. And guys, you can see here I got money. I did actually take out some 20s as well. I was able to get a couple star notes that are pretty common. So I got these as well, guys. So that's just my banking experience. I just had to get it off my chest. I know it's kind of a long video, guys. I'm also going to be opening up a new safe deposit box. So I'm going to be spreading out my PMs a little bit more, having that extra security now. That's a whole other topic we could get into about safe deposit box. I'm not going to really get into that too much. But that's just been my experience. This is with a large bank. I don't know if anyone has ever had any similar stories, but this is like the first time I've ever heard about this happening. I worked in banking and I've never seen anything like this before, and I'm really very frustrated with this happening to me, as you guys can imagine. You could see here, fortunately, I was able to get out the paper, so we're probably going to start stacking a little bit more of this in the near future, as well as PMs. So that's it for now, guys. I just had to get this off of my chest. I feel a lot better talking about it. Just be aware of your bank's policies regarding checks. I know a lot of you probably don't have a lot of checks anymore. You don't use checks a lot. Maybe you'll get a check from a refund or something for taxes. Just be aware of your bank's policy regarding checks, guys. That's all I'm saying, because I've never seen anything this stupid in my lifetime. That's it for now. I'm going to leave it at that. Please like, subscribe, and as always, stack that gold.